Jungkook is not just a singer. He has the soul of a true artist. There is a moment, sometimes just a few seconds long, when you realize you're not simply watching a performance. You're witnessing something deeper, something alive. The kind of moment that makes you stop scrolling, turn up the volume, and feel your chest tighten for reasons you can't fully explain. That moment happens again and again when Jungkook steps onto a stage. At a first glance, the world sees Jungkook as a singer, a global pop star, the golden Maknae of BTS, a voice recognized across continents, a face known by millions. But that surface-level image doesn't explain why his performances linger in your mind long after the music fades. It doesn't explain why even silence feels loud after he leaves the stage. Because Jungkook is not just singing songs. He's telling stories, with his voice, his movements, and the quiet intensity in his eyes. From the early days of BTS, Jungkook stood out not because he demanded attention, but because he absorbed it. While others were still finding their place, he watched, learned, practiced, and refined. He wasn't chasing perfection for applause. He was chasing understanding. Understanding how emotion travels through sound. How pain, joy, fear, and hope can exist in a single note. As BTS grew from a struggling group into a global phenomenon, Jungkook grew too, but not in the way many expected. Fame didn't turn him into a performer who relied on spectacle alone. Instead, it pushed him inward. He became more focused, more deliberate, more emotionally present. Every live stage felt less like a routine and more like a conversation between him and the audience. And that's where the difference begins to show. That a singer delivers vocals. An artist delivers truth. Watch Jungkook closely during a live performance. Notice how he doesn't simply hit notes. He inhabits them. His voice bends when the emotion bends. His breathing becomes part of the storytelling. Even his pauses feel intentional, as if silence itself is speaking. This is not something taught by technique alone. This comes from someone who feels music before performing it. But here's the twist most people miss. Jungkook's greatest strength isn't confidence. It's vulnerability. In a world that rewards loudness, Jungkook often chooses restraint. In a genre obsessed with perfection, he allows cracks to show. Those cracks aren't mistakes, they're windows. Moments where the audience sees the human behind the idol. The young man who doubts himself, who works endlessly to improve, who carries the weight of expectations but refuses to let them harden his heart. Halfway through his journey, something changed. You can feel it in his solo work, in his live vocals, in the way he now commands a stage without overpowering it. Jungkook stopped trying to prove he belonged and started expressing who he truly was. That shift transformed him from a standout performer into a genuine artist. An artist doesn't perform at people. An artist performs with them. Jungkook understands this instinctively. His connection with the audience isn't manufactured through fan service or rehearsed gestures. It's built through sincerity. When he sings about longing, you believe him. When he sings about freedom, you feel it. When he sings about love, it doesn't sound like a concept. It sounds like a memory. This is why Jungkook resonates far beyond K-pop. This is why people who don't speak Korean still feel moved by his music. True artistry doesn't require translation. Emotion is universal, and Jungkook speaks it fluently. Behind the scenes, his dedication tells the same story. Endless hours in the studio, relentless self-critique, a constant desire to evolve, not for trends, not for charts, but for growth. Jungkook treats music not as a product, but as a craft, something to respect, something to protect, and perhaps that's why his presence feels different. He doesn't chase the spotlight follows him. Not because he demands it, but because authenticity has gravity. When Jungkook performs, you don't just watch him. You lean in. You listen harder. You feel more. That is the soul of a true artist. As BTS continues to shape music history, Jungkook stands as a reminder that greatness isn't defined by numbers alone. It's defined by impact, by the quiet moments that change people, by the songs that become part of someone's life story. The next time you hear Jungkook sing, ask yourself this. Not how impressive his voice is, not how flawless the stage looks, but why it feels like he's singing to you. That answer is where the artistry lives. If this story resonated with you, stay with us. There's more beneath the surface, more stories waiting to be told, and more moments where music becomes something unforgettable. Don't just watch, listen, feel, and be part of the journey. Because some voices entertain the world, but only true artists leave a mark on the soul.